All right, guys, I'm back. It's May 25th, and I got about 4 players that I absolutely love to incorporate into some player props. But before we do, you know what we got to do? We got to recap yesterday. All right, guys, a weird night, but let's get into it. Mookie Betts, what a beautiful day. He doubled twice, knocked a single in, and all that stuff. Kyle Tucker did the bare minimum that we needed him to do, just record a hit. Bryce Harper got ejected in the first inning because he didn't like a pitch, and he's rightfully so to be upset. He called strike, and he started jawing at the umpire, and the umpire had a short leash, man. He was not having it. He was like, get the hell out of here, man. Get out of here. So that one, I don't know how that's going to even be graded. I did not take Bryce Harper because unfortunately, his odds were insanely high to record a hit. And then when I was looking at the over 1.5 total bases type of bet, and it wasn't offered at 1.5. It was offered at, if you're lucky, you could find it at 2.5. Some places had it as high as over 3.5 total bases. So I don't know if anybody knows how this will be graded. I've never had a bet that the player got ejected. And like I said, I don't know because I didn't bet it, but I want to know for grading purposes how I should look at this. So in the comments section, if you know, because you had him in some way, like maybe for a home run or something, that would have been a great opportunity right there if he would have been able to play in the game. So let me know, anybody. I'd love to know how that's graded out. And then we got one other player. Let's get into it. All right, and then the only player that didn't record a hit but was given a chance to hit, and he didn't, was Shohei Ohtani. And I was watching that game, and the first at bat, and then the second one, it looked like he wasn't even interested. I don't know if that's the proper word, but I wasn't feeling too good for his last 2 at bats, and it wasn't good. So he didn't get a hit. Very un-Shohei like. Let's just put it that way. So there you go. I don't know. It's a weird kind of night, and let's just move on. All right, so just recapping the season really quick. The last 156 batters on the channel that I suggested for the baseline criteria just to record a hit, we hit 116 of them, absolutely amazing, and missed just 40 of them. Like I said, 74% hit rate. Not too bad, right? And what I'm really excited about is when I added some extra criteria to the standard way of how I select players. I increased the hit rate on the players record a hit from 74% to 83%, just by adding some criteria where I weed out some of the pitchers that are a little too good, or some of the batters that just are not good enough, kind of like evolved. And like I said, this one's absolutely amazing. We've hit 54 correct batters, and only 11 failed to record a hit for us. And the good news is I have 4 players today that all fit under this new category right here. So like there are going to be some really prime opportunity, really great opportunities to incorporate some of these players in whatever way, parlays or however you want to bet them. So absolutely amazing. And let's get right to the amazing plays. All right, first matchup, Marcel Ozuna, the big bear, baby, going up against Mitch Keller. When you look at Keller's pitch percentage or usage, a four-seam fastball he uses on average 34% of the time, and he gives that up at a .259 batting average, so not too good of control. So there's some opportunity with that pitch, especially when Ozuna is hitting the four-seam fastball at a .368 rate all season long. Moving on to the second pitch, which is we got 2A and 2B, because the next 2 pitches are thrown at the same rate 22% of the time. The sinker, he's giving that one up at a .283 batting average. Like I said, love this opportunity because Ozuna loves the sinker also. He hit that at .361 batting average. And then the cutter, he knocks that around at a .273 rate. Ballpark Pal has this listed as an extreme advantage for Ozuna. He represents the worst 4 percentile apostle matchups for Mitch Keller. Ozuna's been on fire all season. I mean, basically, he's recorded at least 1 hit in 38 of the last 46 games. It's not the whole season, but it's the majority of the season. That's how, consistent he has been. In the last 14 days, Ozuna has a .295 batting average versus right-handed pitchers. His barrel rate is in the elite range. Barrel rate measures how well you contact the ball. His ISO rate is in the elite range, and ISO rate is measures how much power you have. So when both of them are in the elite range, you know what that tells me? That tells me he's a home run threat. Okay, and if, I'm not necessarily going to play it. I'd like to look at the weather conditions and the ballpark factors and see if there's an increase in potential for home runs. If there is, then I might contemplate whether to play that. But he has the power for extra bases, so the over 1.5 total bases is definitely in play. But as always, the baseline prediction is just to record a hit. All right, next matchup, Bryce Harper versus Dakota Hudson. And before we get into it, this one might be so unplayable again. With the odds, it's in Coors Field, and like the odds were insane yesterday. So this one might be unplayable in terms of putting him in with someone else to record a hit. It'd still probably be insane odds, but hey, it's a play. We'll see what happens, and let's go right here. So Harper, Dakota Hudson. Dakota Hudson throws the sinker at 33% of the time this season. His number one pitch. Most frequent pitch is what I'm trying to say. 265 batting average. He surrenders on that pitch. And Harper says, give me that thing, baby, because I'm doing it at a 452 batting average. I want to see that all day long. His second most pitched ball, 29% slider, giving that up at a 327 batting average. That is not good. There's no command on that pitch. The only mercy, I guess, Hudson has is that Harper doesn't hit that he doesn't crush it, but a 257 batting average, it's okay. And then the third pitch, the four-seam fastball, which he only throws it on average 17% of the time, gives it up at a very average 241. So there's no significant advantage either way on this pitch. And then again, Harper, there's no advantage really here either. He's only hitting that at a 235 rate. So Ballpark Pal has this listed as an extreme advantage, and Harper represents the worst 3 percentile possible matchups for Hudson. Harper's been on fire. He's recorded at least one hit in 14 of his last 17 games. And he's got a 279 batting average last 14 days versus right-handed pitchers. His barrel rate is in the good range, and his ISO rate is in the elite range. So it makes him a home run threat. Like I said, just like with Ozuna, I'd have to look at the wind direction, temperature, how hard the wind's blowing, and that would ultimately determine. But he's in Coors Field, so there's increased. There's a good chance for home runs when you're in that kind of a ballpark. So he has the power for extra bases. So the over 1.5 total bases is in play, except if they set the price at over 2.5, or I think someone said to me, a buddy of mine said, I saw it at -3 or over 3.5 total bases. Like, what the heck are you talking about? He's got to hit a home run for that, or, hit two doubles or three, or a double and a 2-6. You know what I'm talking about. Insane. So this might be unplayable, but it was a play. So I'm just suggesting it. So we'll see what happens. But like I always say, the baseline prediction is just to record a hit. All right, next matchup, Bobby Witt Jr. versus Aaron Civale. And when you look at the pitches that Civale throws, 29% of the time he throws the cutter, and he gives a batting average up on that at a 259 rate. Witt Jr. says, give me some cutter, baby, because I hit that at 357 on the season. I love that pitch, he says. Second most pitched ball, 20% the sinker. He commands that pretty well at a 220 rate, Civale. But Witt Jr. says, I like that one almost as much. I still hit that at 347. And then the third pitch, 18%, the curve ball. Civale gives that up at a 257 rate, and Bobby Witt hit that at a 278 batting average. Love the opportunity in this matchup. Ballpark Pal, they love it too. If they listed this as an extreme advantage for Bobby Witt Jr., he represents the worst 5 percentile of possible matchups for Aaron Civale. Witt has recorded at least one hit in 23 of his last 30 games. He hit a home run last night. You could have saved it for us for today. It would have been nice, but we love you, because like the last time we played you, like a few nights ago, what do? You hit 2 home runs for us. I mean, can you give us 1? I don't need 2, but the bottom line is just get us a hit, because that's what the baseline prediction is, just to record a hit. But I also think he has the power for extra bases. So the over 1.5 total bases is in play. So there you go. Bobby Witt Jr., baby. In any way, shape, or form you like to use them. All right, second to last matchup, same game versus the same pitcher, Savali, this time Salvador Perez. And he was flying under the radar. I haven't paid much attention to him. And then I kind of looked his way and I was like, whoa, this is a good matchup potentially. So I've already explained Savali and his pitches and how well or how not so well he gives them up. When you look at Perez, he's hitting that cutter at 400 batting average, the sinker at a 440 batting average, and then the curveball, he's like, the other ones, who cares about those? I'm hitting this one at 583 batting average on the year. He matches up really well with Savali in the pitches he probably will be seeing, right? Because what is it? You add those all up, it's like 50. I mean, that's 60, almost 70% of the pitches in his pitch arsenal. That we know Perez can hit at an elite level. Look what he's doing all season. His worst one's at 400 batting average. His worst one. Ballpark Pal has this listed as an extreme advantage for Perez. He represents the worst 2 percentile of possible matchups for Savali. He's been consistent all year, and I wish I would have used him. This is the first time making his debut on the channel, but he has recorded at least 1 hit in 36 of his last 46 games. And when you look at just the last 2 weeks, his batting average versus right-handed pitchers is an insane 340. His barrel rate is in the elite range. His ISO rate is just under the elite range. He's a home run threat. Like I said, we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to play it or whatever. You know what I'm looking for. I already explained it the last how many players, weather, and all that stuff. He has the power for extra base hits. So the over 1.5 total bases is in play. But as always, the baseline prediction is just to record a hit. All right, consider tipping, and I never want any money. Well, then how do I tip you then? Just support the channel by hitting that like button, hit that subscribe button, and that's all I ever want from you guys. Just wanted to create a community where we all can have some fun and hopefully make some money. And okay, let's move on to the last play. Well, before we move on to this last play, I just want to specifically state that the previous 4 players that I just mentioned all fall under that extra criteria that is yielding 83% hit rate on players to record a hit. So we got 4 amazing opportunities. This one right here is not going to be an official play. This is going to be like an honorable mention. This will not be graded. I was going back and forth all day on this one. And ultimately, I said, when in doubt, throw it out, baby. But I wanted to give this one to you guys just in case you're in a pinch and you really need something and maybe you'll like it. But I was enamored at first when you look at Ketel Marte versus Sixto Sanchez. The cutter, he throws it 33% of the time. He is not commanding that very well. He's giving that ball up at a 364 batting average. Absolutely horrible. That's something that I'm absolutely loving, to find someone's first pitch and they're not even commanding it very well. They're absolutely horrible. This is what I dream of. Not dream of, but you know what I mean. This is how I kind of set the table. And then you see that Marte's hitting that ball at a 333 rate. And right there, it's like, let's just stop right there. Don't go any further. I don't want the dream to, I don't want to wake up from this amazing dream. And then the nightmare happens, because you look and you see the next pitch he's pretty good at, Sanchez, and Marte is not so good at it. He's only hitting that at a 235 rate. Now, the experts, those people that know how to predict expected batting average, what he should be doing, and he's not, they're saying that he's an expected batting average of 330. But I live in reality, and reality says he's actually hitting 235. So I'm going to go with that number. I'm not going to go through the whole slide, because like I said, this is just an honorable mention play. Ballpark Pal has this listed as just a strong advantage. And just Marte represents the worst 35 percentile of possible matchups for Sanchez. Never played someone in that low of a range right there. But then there's other signs of Marte has been the hottest player I've ever had on this channel in terms of like, he's recorded at least one hit in 21 of his last 21 games. So you get like kind of enamored by this again. And then you look at Marte and he's only hitting 252 batting average versus right-handed pitchers in the last 14 days. He's not like really setting anything on fire. So like I said, this one is an unofficial play. If you had to use it in a pinch for something, knock yourself out. But I would just strictly stick to the other 4 plays because those ones are just really, really solid opportunities. So there you go. I absolutely love all the love that you guys have been showing, man, in the comments section and hitting that like button and all that stuff. You guys are the best, and you make it that much more enjoyable to do this. And that's it. I'll just leave it right there, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.